Hashtag Trending would like to thank Meter for their support in bringing you this podcast. Meter delivers a complete networking stack, wired, wireless, and cellular, in one integrated solution that's built for performance and scale. You can find them at meter.com/HTT. Welcome back. This is Hashtag Trending. I'm your host, Jim Love. Let's get into it. It feels like the first day of school. We're back in the newsroom this week, but I wanted to take at least one episode to zoom out a bit. Not just the stories, but what the past few days and months have been hinting at for the year ahead. There's a number of trends happening. I'll mention some of them. I won't capture them all. Trend one is the one you already feel in your bones. The AI arms race is turning into a two-horse fight, at least at the very top. In December, Google kicked off its Gemini 3 model family, and OpenAI answered with GPT-5.2. It should have been GPT-6, but it was rushed in to compete with Gemini 3. The details changed daily and weekly, but the pattern was the same. These aren't just chatbots anymore. They're multimodal systems. They see, hear, summarize, write code, and increasingly take actions. And maybe that's why you're seeing these holy shit reactions from executives. In December, Mark Benioff at Salesforce posted that he spent a couple of hours with Gemini 3 and said he wasn't going back to ChatGPT. Now, you can argue about hype, but that kind of public statement tells you something important. This is now an enterprise purchasing conversation, not just a consumer novelty. The consumer will remain important, but there's a big competition for big bucks. Sora, its video generator, became a social app last fall with a TikTok-style feed, and OpenAI leaned into the copyright and brand problems it's been having and signed a major licensing partnership with Disney. Now, that deal matters a lot for memes using all of the fictional characters of Disney, which is a huge universe. The first thing Disney did when they cut the deal was to warn Google not to use their characters. If this turns into big media companies picking a lane, fighting, opting out, or licensing, it's going to be significant. Trend two is AI moving off the screen and into your life, majorly through audio. Tech companies are declaring war on the idea that you should be staring at a slab of glass or a flat screen all day. And OpenAI has been feeding this, publicly pushing audio-first thinking. Google's doing the same thing in cars. Both Google and Alexa are trying to roll out more intelligent smart speakers, albeit with some limited results, so far at least. Gemini is rolling out Android Auto, and that's the real tell. If you can talk to an assistant while you're driving and it can actually do useful work, the voice interface proves itself. Trend three, Agentic AI. And this is where the promise and chaos meet. The late 2025 story wasn't just about smarter models. It was models that can operate tools and take steps without human intervention. The thing to watch this year is not the demos. It's going to be the failures. There's going to be a number of them. We already saw a real example last year where an AI coding agent deleted a production database. These kind of mistakes are going to be big stories in the coming year. But at the end of it all, the incentive structure to bring in agents is there and it's powerful. Companies have spent billions on compute. Now they need returns on that investment. And that's why the jobs conversation is going to get sharper. Dario Amodei at Anthropic has used the phrase white-collar bloodbath. And whether or not you like the language, it reflects a real direction. Agents that can write code, reconcile accounts, draft contracts, run workflows, and more. There have been many predictions about job loss, and some of them are big. But even a modest increase in unemployment or job displacement has a big social impact. During COVID, unemployment went up to about 13%, and it devastated the economy. Without hyping this, there is no reasonable prediction that says we're not going to displace enough jobs to make that 13% number realistic and maybe even higher. Trend 4, backlash, and it's coming from two directions: infrastructure and, let's just call it, a general sense of irritation or even violation. On the infrastructure level, data centers are hitting local politics in a way they didn't a couple of years ago. Communities that once competed for data centers, that once gave them incentives, are now fighting them. Electricity demand, water use, noise, land, and the uncomfortable reality that a modern data center doesn't employ anything like a factory would. The shift you're seeing is that this AI is an abstract thing is now turning into AI is building in my backyard and is making my power bills go up. On the negative side, I've called it irritation or violation, and I'll talk about both. Microsoft is a case study. As much as people love AI, there's a group of people who are exhausted by AI being shoved into every surface, every menu, every update. And Windows 11 has become a bit of a poster child for that frustration. The lack of adoption of Windows 11 is not just AI, but it's part of the issue. Many people are viewing Windows 11 as one of the most unsuccessful implementations in Microsoft history. There was a benchmark done this week in a comparison, and it crowned Windows 8.1 as the winner. It was about speed, the test wasn't scientific, but the sentiment is there, and it's real. This is where it goes from irritation to violation. This is where it gets ugly. Trust and safety are becoming a real battleground. And it's not just who has the best model. Deep fakes are the headline risk because they attack the one thing that journalism and public life runs on: a shared reality. For years, we've relied on video as final proof. Now, video is becoming something that we really are struggling to authenticate. It's not just a theoretical concern. There's already a booming ecosystem of AI-generated news videos and fake personalities. YouTube is awash with them. Some are labeled. A lot aren't. Even the ones that are labeled, it's fine print and you have to go through several screens to find it. Even people who know how to verify sources get fooled sometimes. Then there's harm that is more personal and more immediate. There's sextortion, deep fake nudes. We've seen repeated reporting on how AI tools are being used to generate sexual images of real vulnerable people, including minors, and how that's driving real-world trauma. Just this week, there have been reports that xAI's Grok was generating child sexual abuse material. And that's the part that should make everybody pause, because it undercuts the "don't worry, be happy, the guardrails will save us" argument. Guardrails are not a safety strategy if they're easy to bypass, or if the most capable models aren't consistently enforcing them. And that's why you're going to see AI companies staffing up for safety in a very visible way. When you see roles like OpenAI advertised with compensation north of $500,000 focused on safety and security, it's not charity, it's risk management. Because the AI companies know as well, the backlash is coming from regulators, from parents, and even from customers. And I'll end where I think the year gets very interesting, because it's not all downside. AI is starting to show up in places where it can genuinely save lives, find new drugs, develop new treatments. One of the most striking examples is in medical imaging, like pancreatic cancer detection. Pancreatic cancer is notorious for being found late. There are some signs that AI can reliably catch it earlier from routine scans. And that type of thing is not a feature. It's not a competitive issue. It's a turning point. It's not that AI is the only tech story. There are stories beyond AI that we'll be covering in the coming weeks. But clearly, this is going to be the year of AI and its impact on our lives, positive and negative. AI and other technologies can extend our abilities and enhance our lives. Equally, they have the ability to totally disrupt our society and even cause the breakdown of our social order. There's a line that I've been quoting from Charles Dickens. It was the best of times, it was the worst of times. So buckle up. It's going to be an exciting year, and I'm looking forward to sharing it with you on the podcast or on our new improved news site with our new associate editor and a host of contributors, and we'll add more over the year. As I've said before, I wanted to complement the podcasts with a news site that would be easy to read, allow people to keep up, that would struggle for accuracy, and that wouldn't be bogged down with massive ad attacks. In other words, I created the news site that I wanted to read. And I hope you like it too. Check it out. It's at technewsday.com or .ca. Both work. And if you've read my posts on LinkedIn, you'll have heard that we've had phenomenal growth over the past year. And I hope you'll continue to help us grow by giving us good advice, by going to technewsday.com or .ca and dropping that comment, or putting a note under the video on YouTube, or sharing us with your friends, inviting other people to join, add a review, or just subscribing or giving us a thumbs up. And finally, we'd like to thank our sponsors, you who've contributed through the Buy Me a Coffee on the Tech Newsday site, and Meter, who has given us their support over these past few months and continues to bring you this podcast. They deliver full-stack networking infrastructure, wired, wireless, and cellular to leading enterprises. Meter works with partners to design, deploy, and manage everything to get performant, reliable, and secure connectivity into your space. They design the hardware, the firmware, build the software, manage deployments, and support. It's a single integrated solution that scales from branch offices to warehouses to large campuses to data centers. And I never tell anybody what to buy, but if you do get a demo, go to meter.com/HTT. That lets them know you came from here. I'll be back tomorrow with the news. And in the meantime, I'm your host, Jim Love. Have a marvelous Monday.